Hello to my fellow history lovers and people who think if I learned something new today, it will be a good day. We're continuing with the Professor Noggin series. I love this series. I have nothing to do with it. I just bought it and I love it. And this is Valley Forge. So we're going to only have 2 questions today, supposedly easy. True or false? Nearly 2,000 people at Valley Forge encampment died of disease. And the answer to that is true. And then do you know what disease it was? And in the 1700s, this was the one that would send chills down your spine, and it was smallpox. And I'm actually going to link below. There's a great History Channel video. It's just 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes, and it will really give you an idea, very much more a visual idea of what Washington was facing, and the idea of inoculating people. That was a really big and new and scary idea, to inoculate people. And interestingly, he didn't have to be inoculated because he had it, but he had Martha inoculated and his soldiers as well. All right, number 2. Over 1/2 of the Continental Army deserted during their winter at Valley Forge, and the answer to that is surprisingly false. You would think more would have deserted, and let me just tell you what they were facing. This is from the Smithsonian, and I'm just going to read real quick to give you an idea what these guys were facing. It says food and supplies in Washington's army had already reached critically low levels in 1777. When the army arrived at Valley Forge, the commissary had only flour, no meat, no dried fish to disperse to the men. And it goes on to say, by February, Washington reported that his, quote, starving soldiers faced famine. At least 3,000 men, get this in your mind, were barefoot and otherwise naked. Washington told Congress, I very much doubt the practicality of holding the army together much longer unless some great and capital change suddenly takes place. And this last part is really interesting because I actually farm with my dad, and I did a video about this, so I'll link to my own video after this, but this is the last part. Nevertheless, Washington rejected calls to seize supplies from local inhabitants. Trying to maintain the legitimacy of their cause in the eyes of wary civilians, his officers tried to offer fair compensation to soldiers, which was hard because the Continental money was getting pretty much worthless. Washington's orders insisted that the struggle was to protect the rights of liberty and property, so the army could not risk being seen as plunderers rather than protectors, which is fascinating. And that was from the Smithsonian. And like I said, I'll link to my own farm video from that. And I'm wishing you a fabulous day, and thanks for letting me share.